Happy Passover! So today we're going to make a special treat. It's going to be matzah farfel cookies. Now that's a fancy word for some crushed up matzah. So here's what you'll need for the recipe. You're going to need, of course, our Passover staple, matzah. You're going to need a half cup of nuts of choice chopped, so it can be peanuts, walnuts, whatever you want. But make sure your parent helps you cut them up. You're going to need a quarter cup of shredded coconut, a half cup of any dried fruit, so like dried raisins or cranberries or cherries, whatever you like. And again, parents can have to help you cut them. And then 5 ounces of chocolate chips. The first step is to make matzah farfel. Now farfel, again, like I said before, is a really fancy word just for some broken up matzah. So we're going to do that first. What you're going to need is you're going to need a plastic bag and a rolling pin. Alright, so I'm going to start with 2 boards of matzah. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of matzah farfel. And before you get them in the bag, you're going to break them up just so you get it in there. Now the fun will begin. Alright kids, make sure you have mom and dad's permission and be careful. Don't hit your brother or sister with this, just the matzah. Alright, and there you have matzah farfel, and that's how you're going to make the farfel for this recipe. So now that we have our farfel, you're going to want to melt the chocolate next. And like I said before, it's 5 ounces of chocolate. The recipe calls for semi-sweet chocolate, but you can use milk chocolate or dark chocolate, whatever is your favorite. So off camera, I have had a pot of boiling water, and I'm going to use something called a double boiler. Kids, your parents will know what this is, and you're going to need their supervision and permission for this part again. And what you do is you heat up water, and then you put another bowl on top of it, and that helps you to melt the chocolate. And it's a lot easier and faster, and has better results than putting it in the microwave. But you can do that too if you need to. So we'll be right back. So here's a view of the boiler. As I said before, you have a pot of boiling water and a nice big bowl. Then you're going to pour your chocolate in and you're going to melt it, okay? It's going to take a minute or two to get to temp. And we're back. So as you'll see here, I have my nice melted chocolate, and I toasted my farfel in the oven at 350 for about 5 minutes. And now this is where the fun comes in. So what you're going to do is you're just going to basically, it's kind of like a dump cookie. You just put all your ingredients in the chocolate and mix it up one by one. So I'm going to take my farfel and put it in the chocolate. Again, kids, you're going to need a lot of adult supervision and help with this recipe, so do not try it on your own. Alright? Now we're going to mix that up, a lot of little pieces to make one delicious cookie. Alright? These are a lot like a haystack cookie. If you've ever made a cookie with chocolate and cereal before, it's a similar principle except kosher for Passover. Alright, so now that we have that coated, we'll add our coconut next. Again, that was a quarter cup of shredded, sweetened coconut. You could also do unsweetened if you wanted to. Alright. Next comes a half cup of chopped dried fruit. So you can choose whatever you want, cherries, cranberries, apricots. As long as it goes good with chocolate, you'll be fine. Alright. Then we have one final ingredient. And that is our chopped nuts, alright? And I did chopped walnuts for my recipe because that's what we had in the house and my family likes walnuts. But again, you could use peanuts, you could probably even get away with almonds if you wanted to. Whatever goes with all the other stuff you're putting into your recipe. Alright, so we're just going to mix this up until everything's coated, and it is going to be a little loose. And what we're going to do next is we're going to grab, I'm using a tablespoon, but you could use like a small ice cream scoop or just a regular spoon. I'm going to make little dome-shaped cookies, and then we're going to put them in the fridge to chill for a half an hour. So here's my tablespoon. I'm gonna start scooping out cookies. Now, while we scoop, let's talk. When we were starting out this recipe, you're probably wondering how we were going to make a cookie out of this mess. I mean, even as we were mixing in the chocolate, it looked kind of messy and like it wasn't going to combine, and it's hard to see how all the little pieces can come together. Well, sometimes our lives are like that. There's a lot of little pieces all over our lives, and sometimes they're good pieces, sometimes they're bad pieces, sometimes everything seems a little crazy and chaotic in our lives, right? But the good thing to know is, just like our recipe here, where it all came together in the end, God brings all the little pieces of our lives together to work it out for the good of those who love Him. The good news is that's me and you. We love Him, and He's going to make sure that everything works out for our good. So next time your life looks a little like our matzah farfel, don't worry, just trust God that He's going to work it all out. Well, that's it for now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the fridge for half an hour, and then, I'll have some nice cookies. But it was so fun making this with you guys. I hope you guys try the recipe out at home. And remember, God loves you, and so do we.